There is also another aspect to the pitch when it comes to Donald Trump being very, very bad. And we all know this. The final closing pitch for Democrats and why Donald Trump is very, very bad is because Donald Trump is a miasmatic evil force across the land responsible for COVID.
True.
Right? There's an almost biblical view that Democrats and the media have of COVID, which is that America deserves this. That because
what?
we elected Donald Trump, we deserve this. They had the same view, by the way, of the wildfires in California.
Wait, what? I have literally never seen anyone on the left, from liberals to leftists, saying America deserved COVID. I have never seen this in my life. What the fuck are you talking? How hard do you have to reach for the fucking victim complex you're experiencing right now here? Jesus Christ. You're like, oh yeah, it's like the Bible, dude. They think we all deserve to die because you voted for Trump. They want you dead because you voted for Trump. No, dude. The only person, Donald Trump literally on stage said that he didn't care that much about providing stimulus aid because it would have gone to Democrat crime-ridden cities. The only entity, the only people, the only group that have actually said certain groups of Americans deserve COVID is Donald Trump, is the Republican Party. Like, easily. Like, this isn't even arguable.
Joe Biden has said similar stuff about global warming. Like, if we get rid of Donald Trump, global warming will stop. It will cease almost immediately. It's amazing.
Nope, he's never said that. We don't bully Ben Shapiro enough, by the way, because Ben Shapiro does have some sort of like aesthetic inclination towards intellectualism, but he is actually a fucking moron. Like, he genuinely is a fucking moron, dude. Nobody has ever said we would just get rid of climate change. You can go on Joe Biden's website and it literally has, this is Biden, by the way, this isn't far left stuff. It literally talks about like incremental reform. It says it right there. Like, you can see it on the website. I don't know if you're like illiterate or whatever, or if your hands are too small to fucking space out and type the keys properly to go to fucking Joe Biden's website, Vote Joe or whatever. I guess this is the sort of thing that I would expect from somebody who thinks global warming isn't that much of a problem because people in flooded communities can just sell their house. But yeah, like,
he has said if we elect him, there will be fewer wildfires in California.
That is true. The wildfires in California are caused by a combination of poor federal forest management, which is something the president can control, and economic policy and climate policy, which are things the president can control. Yeah. Yeah, that's something a president can do.
Which, no.
Yes, that is the thing. That doesn't guarantee he's going to do it, but yeah, that absolutely is the thing that can happen. Yeah, 100%.
No, that is anti-scientific nonsense.
From a fucking Republican. From a fucking Republican. No, it's not. What do you think the fires are being caused by? It's rising temperatures, drought. These are things affected by climate policy. They'll get worse under Trump because he's not doing anything about climate change. Biden will attempt to make things somewhat better. It'll improve it. And by poor federal forest management. You have to clear out. There's a whole process to keeping forests from burning the fuck down. You got to rake the forest floors. It's not a meme. You actually have to. You have to properly clear the forests, and you have to ensure, properly controlled burns to make sure that when there are inevitably fires during fire season, that they don't dominate the forests.
But the basic philosophy here is that Donald Trump is a miasmatic evil force lying over the land, and that the only way to relieve that miasmatic evil force is to get rid of him.
This is why I like calling Republicans snowflakes, because they totally fucking are. Every time they don't have a counter argument for a position, they overstate their opponent's position and attempt to ad absurdum it. So the actual belief here is that Donald Trump has bad policies that hurt this country, and Biden's would hurt it less or possibly even improve it. And what Snowflake Ben Shapiro is turning that into is liberals literally believe that Donald Trump is actually an apocryphal biblical force lying on top of the planet, that every single time he moves, ripples of causality rupture the space-time continuum and destroy our country by evoking ancient demonic texts which lead to things like forest fires and droughts. Liberals literally believe that Donald Trump is personally personally responsible for everything bad that happened. Every fire that you've choked on the smoke from, he lit that fire. Every time you stub your toe, the liberals say that's Donald Trump. And they think that if you vote for, if you vote for Joe Biden, that you'll stop stubbing your toe ever again. And that's just ridiculous. That's ludicrous. You can't actually just stop stubbing your toe if Joe Biden wins. That'll still happen. They think that it'll stop, it'll go away. But that's them. It's this apocryphal force that they want to get rid of. They don't actually have any arguments.
And we have been struck with the plague. America has. We were struck with the plague because Donald Trump was elected president.
Well, I mean, the plague was worsened because Donald Trump was president. It would have come into this country no matter what, I imagine. I doubt there's anything we could have done to have prevented it from entering the country. But yeah, his handling of the pandemic has led to it spreading. Yeah. That's not biblical. It's literally a plague. Just because the plagues were a thing that happened in the Bible doesn't mean criticizing Donald Trump for his treatment of a plague is necessarily a mythological criticism. Plagues are a real thing. The reason why they wrote plagues into the Bible is because they were a real thing that had happened to human beings. It's a real thing that happens.
And if Donald Trump were not president, then the plague would go away.
It would have been dealt with better, yeah. And there are innumerable arguments one can make to justify the belief that Donald Trump has done worse than Hillary Clinton would have, and certainly has done worse than Joe Biden will. 100%. Yeah, those are easy, factual arguments that can be made. They've been made on debate stages. They've been made in presidential debates. They've been made in policy positions written on websites. We've been over this a trillion times. Donald Trump has had no plan. He lied to the American public. He has constantly downplayed mask usage. He has mocked the people who have died of the pandemic. I mean, again, like it's very easy. This is a very easy calculation. This isn't like a fuzzy line.
And this has been, this sort of logic has been shown through the prism of COVID.
What?
Right? COVID itself is now a referendum on Trump. If it weren't for Trump, COVID would just go away.
Well, no. Trump is the election is kind of a referendum on COVID in part. What? Wait, I'm sorry. Did that make sense or did I mishear?
On Trump. If it weren't for Trump, COVID would just go away. It would just go away because there's apparently a big red button in the White House labeled Stop COVID, and Trump refuses to push it because Trump is COVID.
Dude, this is incredible. Like the reductio ad absurdum here is so fucking persistent that he's literally acting out the straw man that I did, the caricature I did of his behavior, you know? He's like, just because you vote in Joe Biden, it doesn't actually change anything. First of all, even if you elect people on November 3rd, say for example, even if you elect people on November 3rd, even if you, let's say, for example, you vote in Joe Biden, you do realize, of course, that they're not even actually inaugurated until the beginning of next year. So frankly, nothing's even going to change. They say that the moment liberals will tell you is that, let's say hypothetically Joe Biden wins, instantly every problem in America is solved and we're all immortal, deific, semi-translucent beings of light. That is what liberals will tell you. But that is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is not what happens. That is not how it works. No amount of presidential policy can make your skin translucent. And frankly, as an Orthodox Jew, I question the motives behind trying to make humans deific in any respect. In fact, I think that's actually quite sacrilegious. And what they're trying to do, what liberals are trying to do, is they're trying to make Trump the Antichrist and ignore the fact that every Republican has been saying that every Democratic candidate is the Antichrist for literal decades now, and that every single election turns out to be a moratorium on religious extremism from the part of Christian fundamentalists. Ignore all of that, and let's just pretend that Democrats are the ones who unnecessarily impress religiosity on every single presidential election. And now let's pretend that Democrats unironically believe that every single problem that this country has ever faced will be instantly fixed under Joe Biden, rather than acknowledging the fact that there are actual real policies that Donald Trump and Joe Biden both respectively believe in, and that you can measurably determine which one of those are going to be better, and that Joe Biden's are better. Let's completely ignore the policies. I know I come off very smart. I'm actually a very stupid man, and I recognize, of course, as a person just smart enough to know when I'm out of my depth, that if I actually try to argue policies here, I'm going to look very, very bad. So instead, let's just make fun of you. We're going to make fun of the things that I think you believe, and I distrust my audience enough to believe that they're stupid enough to actually take what I'm saying as a serious representation of Democratic positions. Okay? Okay. Hypothetically.
COVID is Trump. Now, from Trump's perspective, he's saying, listen, I'm not pushing lockdowns because lockdowns are bad policy.
Worked in other countries around the world.
And guess what? We've locked down. We've watched Europe lock down, and Europe is now spiking harder than the United States is by leaps and bounds.
Depends on the country in the in that continent. Ben, that continent has dozens of countries, some of which are doing poorly and some of which are doing well.
But all of this COVID talk is being refracted through that lens, right? That prism of Trump is bad and evil and everything COVID related is about Trump.
I appreciate the sublime irony of Ben Shapiro going on this tangent while America is literally setting records for COVID cases. Like we are the fucking world champions of COVID-19 right now. We're in a third wave. We're getting over 100,000 new infected people every single fucking day. And Ben Shapiro is still here, completely ignoring the actual policy side of the arguments. Many of the European countries that are spiking because they stopped their lockdowns. There are other countries that have done lockdowns and did them effectively. How do you think Southeast Asia pulled themselves out of this? How do you think New Zealand pulled themselves out of this? Absolutely astonishing. Astonishing. It really is incredible. But conservatives don't care if you die, so it doesn't make a difference to them.